Alright guys, this video is going to be just a little talking video. Let's see here. I'm going to go over a couple things, and for very good reason. It's going to be, you guys know, if you follow my video, there's nothing scripted on my videos. It's live, it's real, it's whatever you get is what you get. I mean, it's as real as it can be. I just record, I don't do any special editing, I don't even know how to do that stuff, and you kind of get what you get with my videos. Hell, I may even cut a fart halfway through a video. You guys are going to hear that too, because it is what it is. It's real, right? I'm not big into those videos where everything is scripted, laid out, and all that stuff. It's you get what you get with me, and a lot of you guys already know that. Anyway, I'm going to briefly cover a few different things. There is a lot of people have questioned why I'm going solo this year and what I'm doing. I'm going to start off with a quote from Johnny Moe, and what Johnny Moe says is, it hurts a hell of a lot more falling down when you're running than when you're walking. If you guys don't know what that means, you know, you can crash hard if you're just go all the time. I'm the type of person that it's 100 miles an hour and nothing with me. I try to slow down at certain paces, but my personal life, work, everything, I've just always been that way. I'm very motivated and I can get a lot done in a short period of time. Does that make me better than anybody else? Hell no, it doesn't. It's just who I am. It's just the way I am. And this is why this is why one of the reasons why I've decided to go solo this year, and it has a lot to do with cost. If you're running a legitimate business, paying comp on guys, benefits on guys, things like that, there's all the insurances, there's a lot you're spending out each year, so it has to pan out. It has to make it worth it. It has to be beneficial to your business and your bottom dollar. If you know your numbers, which you should, you know, you should be able to figure all this out. And it's not like you get, let's say you get $30 a week for mowing an account. You didn't just make $30, okay? You gotta take your fuel out of that. You gotta take your insurance out of that. If you have payments on a truck, equipment, anything, you gotta take that out of it. There's so many things you gotta figure in. That's why it's very imperative to know your numbers. So that all comes into play for me now. I got so caught up in trying to just pound out and get as much work as I possibly could over the last couple years, and I'm going now, 2016, I'm going into my 4th season of having my own business. Now, I've been doing landscaping for over 17 years, but this is my 4th season going on my own. Now, throughout last year, I maintained 114 weekly I think that's what it was, 114 weekly mows, and like 2 or 3 bi-weeklies. You guys know I try to avoid the bi-weeklies, but the point is, I did that in 3 years, and I've built up a very good reputation for myself in my town. I never wanted to be a multi-million-dollar company. It's not my goal. It never has been, and it most certainly is not now. I just want to be comfortable. I want to know that all my bills are paid. I have money in the bank, so if I want to do something, I want to take my family out to eat, I want to buy my wife something nice, my kids something nice, I can do that and not have to worry about it. And I wanted the freedom of it, the stress-free life. And that's always been my goal. Now, with all these accounts and running, and that's not counting all the landscaping and everything on top of it that I do. So mowing all those accounts and all landscaping and everything on top of it is just go all the time. Well, I was raking in money. I was banking money like crazy. I was able to put money into the retirement that I've designed for myself. I was able to put my winter fund away and still blow money on stupid shit throughout the whole summer. So I was making good money. It wasn't, like I said, it was never $1 million company or nothing, but I was making good money and I was very comfortable. Well, you know, with any business, things are going to break down throughout the year. You're going to have all kinds of issues. I mean, that comes with the territory. It's not that big of a deal. But just pushing all my equipment, pushing my guys right to the end, come the end of the season, I had to replace a mower on a 0-turn. You know, that's extremely expensive. A couple trimmers. One I could repair, the other two just couldn't be repaired. They're just so beat to hell. So you had to replace them. Now you're talking, you know, some people will say, well, you know, if I got to replace a trimmer to a season versus what I'm making out of it, you know, it's no big deal. Well, it is a big deal. You know, let's say you're paying $400 for a trimmer. That's $800 for 2 trimmers. Now, if you mow, you know, say my average where I am is you'll get roughly 26 weeks of mowing. Sometimes more, sometimes less. It just depends on the weather. Well, let's say you're mowing an account for $25 a week. You multiply that times 26 weeks, that's $650. So you're replacing 2 weed whackers. That's like throwing 1 account in the garbage. What's the point of getting the account if you're just throwing that account away? You know, some people may balance that out and say, well, you know, here's 2 trimmers, I'm throwing 1 account away, but I have all these other accounts, so it kind of pans out. Well, no, it don't. Your main goal is to, you know, bring more in, put less out. So, you know, you want the money to come in fast, but to go out slow. That's what you should be aiming for. And, you know, let me just reiterate right there that I'm not telling you how to run your business. I never tell anyone how to do it. I just put my life out there and I put my business out there and tell you guys how I do it. If you can learn something, then great, because that's my ultimate goal. I want to help people. But this is just how I do it, and that's the way I look at it. So, you know, it's not beneficial to me. Now, like I've explained in my video on my 2016 plans, I've gone over all this with my wife, my accountant, many times. And what I've come out with is dropping the accounts I'm going to drop, dropping the employees, not having to carry comp on employees and all that stuff, and doing everything myself. I stand to make quite a bit more money this year than I did last year, and that's without employees and doing it by myself. And I'm more than happy with those numbers. Like I said, I never wanted to be $1 million company. If that's your goal, then, you know, obviously this may not make sense to you, but I never wanted to do that. Now, at the same time, I'm going to give you a little background. Some people know already. I've talked to many people, and I've mentioned different stuff here and there in my videos, and some people know, you know, what I'm doing or know a little bit about me and my background, but I'll just give it to you real quick. You know, I worked for an armored truck company. Actually, I'm still there 1 day a week for almost 11 years, and I'm on my 11th year right now. I actually just hit 10 years January 9th, so I'm on my 11th year. But it's like 68, 72 hours a week for those 10 years, and I never saw my family. I never made, you know, I made decent money, but it was nowhere near where I'd be financially comfortable. And it's just, there was a lot to it, a lot of stress, everything else, and that's why I started my company. One of the big reasons I wanted to get away from all that, and change all that. So running like crazy these last few years, and all the breakdowns, you know, wondering if employees are going to show up every day, wondering if they're going to break something. You know, there's so many factors that tie into it. You know, I was so stressed out all the time, and when it got to the end of the season, you know, and everything came to a halt, the season was dying out, and all of a sudden I had all these major repairs to break. I had all these major repairs to make. I had all these things that were broke down, all these things I had to fix, all these things I had to replace. That was running, and when I crashed, it crashed hard. It cost me thousands of dollars and tons of time to replace all this stuff, or to fix all this stuff. Now, if I'd have just been going at my own pace, doing it myself, I'm the only one running my equipment, it's not getting beat to hell, you know, I'm making a lot of money, and at the same time, my repairs and my costs are limited. So when it all slows down, and it comes to an end toward the end of the season, I'm not in the situation that I was at the end of this past year. So that's the difference between falling when you're walking and falling when you're running. I hope that makes it a little more clear for you guys. Like I said, that came from Johnny Moe. I heard him say it in a podcast actually with Stan Genedek, and it was just so clear to me, and it made so much sense to me. But a little background on me is, you know, I did all that for years. I had some issues along the way, and you know, doing that landscape, I went through a divorce and got full custody of my kids, and I raised them on my own for a number of years before I married the woman I'm married to now, which has been my saving grace. She is just amazing, and she has helped me to become where I am today, and you know, I give her lots of credit for that. But I had to make a decision, and I had to change what I was doing. I had to change my life on a personal level and a working level, and just a lot of things needed change, and that's what I did. And I was very happy in my first couple of years. The first year I did most of it all by myself. Second and third year I ran with employees, and I learned at the end of this last year that I definitely need to go back to doing it on my own, and I'm so much happier going into this season than I have been the last couple of years. But you know, those are some reasons why. But leading up to, let me just backtrack a little bit. Leading up to after my divorce, and you know, working for the armored truck company on my own, I was still working for a pool company on the side on the weekends, trying to make extra money. It became too much. I was in the best shape of my life. I was working out at least 5 days a week, usually 6. I was in great shape, and I had a heart attack. I was walking into one of my accounts on the armored truck company with money, and I just dropped. They pumped me with nitros. I spent 6 days in a cardiac center in Erie, Pennsylvania. I dropped, and that woke me up right there. That was, you know, it was just overwhelming amounts of stress. I miserably failed stress tests. I had to have an angiogram done where they went into me with a camera looking all through me for blockage, things like that. And it kicked my butt. I laid there in the hospital, and I just thought to myself, is this really it? Is this really the end? I mean, come on. I was in my early 30s. I'll be 38 this year in October. I was in my early 30s. I'm like, this cannot be all there is for me. It was a very scary time in my life. I don't wish that crap on anybody. I hope nobody ever has to go through it, but that was my life and where I was at the time. So you have to know what's right for you. You have to know what's right for your business. You have to know your market. You have to know your area. Like, there is not multi-million-dollar companies in my area. There's not multi-million-dollar landscape companies in my area. I still help new guys starting off. I just did 2 weeks ago. I sat down with a guy for 4 hours, and I helped him with his business plan and everything to start his own landscape company in my area. I even offered to give him my spare trailer and a couple spare trimmers that I had to get him started. And then once he started making some money, we'd work something out to where he'd pay me off for those if he wanted to keep them or something along those lines. And it didn't bother me. A lot of people said, well, why are you, a couple of people I talked to, they said, why are you helping another company in your area? Well, first off, no one company can do everything in your area. There's plenty of work for all of us. And I know my customers aren't going anywhere because, you know, I take care of them very well. So, you know, I like helping people. I like to do what I can for other people. So that brings me to another point. I have a friend of mine that I grew up with. We've been friends since we were younger. He's in heating, air conditioning. He's been doing that for 19 years, I think, something like that. Well, he just got back from Disney with his family, and they thought he had a heart attack on the plane. I flew up to see him. Today is Tuesday. I flew up to see him Sunday at the hospital. And apparently for 2 years now, he's been getting this issue where he gets real bad chest pains and he has trouble breathing. He's actually passed out from it twice. He says it gets so bad you can actually see his chest moving through his shirt. His neck bulges out. He's had this for 2 years. He's never said anything to his wife. He's never told anybody about it. He just kind of blew it off and kept working. Well, now he's in the hospital. And today he's got to go in and have an angiogram done like I had done. And they're going to look for blockage. They're going to look for whatever they can. When he went into the ER, his heart rate was at 174 beats a minute. If you guys know anything about medical, for a guy his age, his size, he should be somewhere between 75 to 80 and 100 beats per minute at rest. He was at 174. Within 10 minutes, he was at 189. They gave him a shot. The shot literally stopped his heart for 3 seconds. He said he watched it on the screen. He watched himself flatline and came right back. And he said that it blew his mind. He he's humbled now. He's in a whole new state of mind right now. And this morning he's going up for that angiogram, which I'm going to go up there and be with him. As he called me saying he's scared as hell, and I told him, it's not a huge deal. They do it all the time. It's very common. It's usually an outpatient thing, but I understand how scared you can be. This is going to change your life. This should put you in perspective. And if it don't, just tell me, and I'll just beat the hell out of you and let you go back into perspective, because he needs to make some changes in his life, big time. He's got kids. He's got a wife. It's not worth it. And he's due to make some changes in his life. He loves his job, he loves what he does, but there's some other things he needs to change. So just so you guys know, some people think, I always used to think, oh, that's for, people that smoke 3 packs a day, drink like crazy, eat like crap, people in like their late 50s and stuff like that. Man, I was in the best shape of my life when it happened to me. And he's a young guy too. He's very active. It should not be happening to him, but these things can happen. So this all ties into, you guys need to know what point in your life you need to change your life. You need to know what point you need to simplify things for yourself. Can I keep employees and keep racking up more and more and more accounts and more work? Yeah, I can. But you know what you pay out versus what you bring in, it's got to level out somewhere. The benefits have to be higher, and at some points it will be. But when you take an overall for a year, a lot of people don't understand that, especially with new businesses or guys just getting started, or even guys who've been in it for a little while. You see, okay, I made a ton of money on this job because having these employees, I went in, I banged it out, I made a good buck on it, and it did well, where I wouldn't have been able to do that by myself. Okay, well, that's great. But how does that tie into the overall year? How does that tie in? Are you doing jobs like that every single week throughout the whole year? No, probably not. So you need to figure out, how does that tie into the overall year? And does it become worth it? So that 1 job or 2 jobs, 3 jobs, maybe even 4, you made crazy profits and you wouldn't have been able to do without employees. But, okay, what about the rest of the year, the day-to-day? Are you losing money on those? Are you just tying even? Can you make more if you're doing it by yourself? Now you have new numbers. Now everything is different. Now everything changes. So, you guys got to know at what point in your life, and that's exactly why my videos show you real to life. I don't edit things out. I don't, nothing. You guys, what you see is what you get with me. I'm as real as the day is long, and I just lay it out there, and it is what it is. It's not for everybody. But if people can get something out of it, which is my ultimate goal, then that's great. But that's just where I'm at. That's a little bit about my history and a little bit about why I'm doing what I'm doing again. And I hope you guys are smart enough in your businesses to weigh out everything and not just look at the immediate, not just look at right now. You need to look at the bigger picture. You need to look at overall. You need to check out your life on a personal level and working level. You need to know, how much time are you giving to your family? How much are you able to put into your retirement or your winter fund versus what you're just spending out or what you're just bringing in thinking, okay, I just made a couple grand, great. Well, and a lot comes out of that couple grand if you're running a legitimate business. And even if you're not running a legitimate business and you're not insured, things like that, you still have to pay fuel, you still have to pay maintenance on the equipment, maintenance on the trucks, all that comes out of that. So very important, guys. If you take anything away from this, watch your health, balance where you're putting your time. Okay, balance where your time is going. How much time are you giving to yourself? Is it worth it all in the end? You're working like crazy, but what are you getting out of it? Are you getting the freedom you need? Are you able to take a vacation when you want to? Are you able to buy the extra things you want to? Knowing your numbers, do you know where you stand for the overall year and not just this week or this month? Are you keeping records of that so you know where your profit margins are? There's so much to weigh into this stuff. And it all ties together in the end. There's, at the end of the day, nobody cares. When you're laying on your deathbed and it's the end, do you think about your customers? No, absolutely not. You think about your family and the people that are around you, and that's what's going to matter to you. You're not even going to remember those customers. So make sure you're balancing your personal life with your work life. and make sure everything's worth it. You know, that's all I got for you guys today. We're supposed to get a bunch more snow tonight. I'll make a plowing video, but I just wanted to get that out there. I wanted to clarify a couple things, and you know, I just wanted to, you know me, keeping it real, just laying it out there. It is what it is, and I hope you guys get something out of this. But till the next video, I'm out, guys.